What is organizational capacity for change? Generally, this is an assessment of an organization's readiness for change based upon three criteria: the human skill sets and resources necessary for the change, the formal systems and procedures necessary to effectuate the change, and then the organizational culture, values, and norms that will ultimately precipitate the change. Now, the extent to which these factors align with the ultimate change that is needed is the primary metric for the extent to which the organization has capacity for change. Now, you can look at the readiness for change also along dimensions, and there are 8 primary dimensions of change for an organization. Number one, the trustworthiness of the leaders. That is, the individuals subject to the change need to believe that the leaders are trustworthy and they should put their confidence in them that this change is necessary and should be carried out. Trusting followers, that is to build the trust in the followership, that is to get buy-in from them, that once again the leaders in formulating the change plan, they know what they're doing and it's in the best interest of the organization. Capable change champions, and change champions can come at any level of the organization, but these are the individuals who move the ball forward. They help to effectuate the change, whether it's through coming up with plans or processes for change, or whether it's actually getting buy-in from other individuals within the organization. So these are the change agents that precipitate the change. Involving middle managers, these tend to be the primary communicators between the higher level planners and those at the operational level who are going to effectuate the procedural changes that are going to bring about organization-wide change. So these middle managers, having them on board and having them as active participants in the change process, particularly in the communication process and the motivation and winning the hearts and buy-in from those at the operational level, is going to be essential. Thinking about change holistically, not just in particular processes, but how the change is going to affect everything and how a change in one area affects change in another. Another way to say this is to think of it in terms of system, because the organization is a system. So to implement system thinking in this regard, to try to help people understand that this is a holistic change and that it's going to change pretty much every facet of the organization in some way, shape, or form. Okay, having formalized communication systems in place that allow top-level management to communicate through middle management all the way down to the operational level. Having these formal chains of command, because oftentimes during the change process, people get lost. There's a lack of cohesiveness there's a lack of unity of command. The chain of command as to who reports to whom becomes a bit blurred. So making certain that the communications and the reporting channels are well established as part of the change plan as well. Having an accountable culture, getting people to buy into not only the change process, but to a sense of ownership of it, that they own parts of the process and are responsible and ultimately accountable for that. While it is traditionally set up that managers have ultimate accountability for the performance of the people that they manage, getting some sense of buy-in and creating a sense of ownership among the people who are effectuating the changes is highly important, and then creating a sense of innovation in the culture. Such that those who are actively involved in the change process are the ones coming up with novel ideas and approaches to effectuate the change most appropriately, and that any ideas are being communicated up and are being treated fairly, and the communication flows both ways in this regard. So to the extent these dimensions are present is another tool by which you can assess the readiness of the organization for change.